mentioned about your product and how he's been using it successfully for a few months now, I think, and he passed it on to the marketing department to kind of review. We have an upcoming loan officer convention in June, and maybe something that we would want to roll out to our other loan officers. So they wanted me to take a look at it, see if I would think it would be beneficial. And then Tammy kind of runs our compliance RESPA for our marketing tools and so forth. So that's why she's on the call, to kind of review it from that standpoint and ask any questions she might have.
Cool. Well, it looks like James is getting on, and on the call here. And I'll tell you one thing. He's been a client of ours for months, and like most agents, he probably doesn't know 25% of what we do. But that's okay, because what he's using is getting a lot of great results. Hey, JR, is that you?
Jim Roush.
Jim, this is Vince. Vince Meza from Listings to Leads. How are you?
I'm doing great, Vince. Nice to talk to you again.
Yeah. So let's kind of dive into the system. And Jim, you've got some color, so feel free to jump in whenever you want.
Sure.
Hey, Vince, will you make sure you're recording it for Brian?
I am.
He wanted to listen to it. Okay,
I'm definitely doing that. So I'm going to show you kind of what it looks like from an agent's perspective. God darn it. I'm sorry. My computer is weird today. Because what a LO does is they have their own account, and they can add agents that are their partners to it. And the way that Jim uses it, he's got his own single agent account. So I'll show you those tools. So they're exactly the same. The only thing that is different is on the lender version, some of the tools are co-branded. All right. And you stop me if I'm going too deep or technical on things. I feel like we should probably just, at a high level, look at these tools and then maybe talk about how you apply them. There are two major sections of Listings to Leads. The listing section, where we create a bunch of tools. There's a lot of automation, and these tools are all designed to capture leads. There's a landing page section, and landing pages can be, what is your home worth, homes sold near you, empty nesters, growing families, even custom landing pages, right? So let's click on the listing side, and let's talk a little bit about what that whole thing looks like. For most agents, we can auto sweep your listings into this page here. And once we've done that, we can email that kind of a toolkit to the agent automatically. So I think I have one here in my mail. Let me go look real quick. Congratulations. Give me a second here. No, that's not it. Well, this is one message that's an automated message. And this is relevant to every listing. Every listing has a task list. And these tools we automatically email, but we just recently launched auto posting to social media. And that message that I was showing you over here is a message that an agent would receive. And it's saying, hey, we posted your home at that status to your page, right? To your business page and your social media pages. But right inside my account, I can see the same thing. There's a section that says your social media. And to give you an idea,
Vince, are we logged in like as we're a realtor right now, or as we're a loan officer?
As a realtor. The only difference as a loan officer is that you would have you would log in and you'd have a tab where you would see multiple agents, and those agents are the realtors that you're working with, right?
Okay.
And so this is one of the tools that we auto-generate. It is for an open house. It's time sensitive, so you got the ticking, time bomb situation on the left. Mm-hmm. On the right is a form that you can click, and if you want more information on the home, well, you got to type it in there, right? And so if I click get this information now, the page spins around, says thank you, and then it drops the consumer on the single property website. And we created both of those pages, right? So everything is there for the consumer, and the agent now has the contact information and the address of the home that was being inquired on. There's also something that we have called lead gen links. if you're
So
selling.
is the loan officers, is this not co-branded, this part of it that you're showing us?
That particular
I don't see any loan officer info on there.
That particular page is not. And this is because
Is that an option?
It is. So when you have a lender pro account, you see how my name is here on the left, Vincent Meza. Right beneath it would be, your name and your company and your contact info, and it would be, for financing. So that's how it looks, and that appears in a number of the tools. That particular tool, which we call a listing landing page, it doesn't appear there because we're not even, nobody's appearing here. This is about capturing the lead, right? So there's also another part right here. This is the auto posting that I was mentioning. So we can now auto post this to the Facebook business pages for the agent, to their Twitter account, and to their LinkedIn. The nice thing about the Facebook side is Facebook is a great place to be advertising and boosting. And what we've been doing this for 10 years, is we create great tools and we email them to an agent, and they have to open it up, and we say, hey, open that up and go put that on Facebook and write something great and put some emojis, and you'll get some leads, right? That's a fairly simple thing to do, but not all agents have the time to do that. So it doesn't get done. And so now we're doing it automatically. And what's great is, yes, it does have emojis, which, as silly as they sound, get people to click more. We put it in the hashtags, and then agents can choose their own hashtags if they're going to build their own brand. And then, of course, there's a picture, but when you click on the picture, it has our landing page behind that. So this is auto posting with lead capture for real estate. And like I said, it's going to your business page, it's going to LinkedIn, and that's like step number one. If we look at the task list, there's a whole bunch of tasks. I'm going to show you the top ones. And we know that they're the top ones because people are coming back to us in our mastermind group and saying, we're getting great results from this. So the next one is a seller social media. Now, this basically, we send it to the agent, they can copy it, send it to their client, and say, hey, client, please go put that on your wall too, right? And it's nice because, like everything else we create, it's designed to capture leads, but actually it's really meant to bring attention to now let's give it a second to pull out the photo. This is meant to go to the homeowner. This is not designed for the agent. It's designed for the agent to give to the homeowner. For some reason, maybe my internet's slow, the photo isn't there, but I'm going to post it anyway, and we'll kind of see what it's going to look like. Normally, there'd be a big picture underneath it. But it says, we're having an open house, and the agent, me, Vincent Meza at Lafayette Realty, is doing a lot of marketing, expect great turnout. So it's really, what this is meant to do is to tell all the friends and the family of the clients, like, I'm their realtor, right? And then if I clicked on it, well, there would be a link, and then I could click that link, and there should be a picture there, but the internet's probably a little bit jammed up, but it's got that there. And then, of course, single property website, it has its own lead capture built into it. So those are good tools. We also create others. There's a print flyer there's a flyer for your database. If agents are sitting on a load of leads and they're not converting those leads, this thing can be copied and pasted into that. It's a pretty simple letter. It says, hey, we've got an open house. If you want information, click that link, or you can text there. By the way, when that sells, that's going to affect your home value. So you can click right here and get the home value, right? And that, I think here I have, although I should have pulled this open earlier. This is what that letter looks like. So you can sort of blast this out. And the nice thing about it is you're telling the market, we got an open house, or we sold something, or we have something just listed. And by the way, it's going to affect your home value. So when they click that link in their email, it brings to a home value landing page, right? And so again, it's marketing for real estate with a lot of tools to capture, a lot of ways to capture leads. The other thing, which looks very similar, but I'm just going to point it out, and then we'll jump into the other section, is a print flyer for nearby homeowners. And the print flyer for nearby homeowners looks almost alike, but it's a very simple thing for door knocking. And I'm going to show you something in a couple minutes from our mastermind group of how people are applying this tool, and they're either door knocking the old-fashioned way, walking around, or they're mailing it. So let's just go look. We've got a secret mastermind group for our clients if they want to learn more about what's going on. Let's go look at Cheyenne. Cheyenne's a new client. She started at the beginning of the year. And I could tell, because I watch this group and I hear her talking and asking questions, that she does not understand Facebook advertising. So what she did is she found this letter and she went door knocking in her neighborhood to 200 homes for 7 hours and got 4 listings out of it. So this little simple letter, it doesn't look very sexy, to be honest, but it is well written and designed to get people to these pages, and with 7 hours work can get somebody, 4 listings. That same letter has been used by another client of ours over in Maryland. And I'm going to show you what he said, because this is why it's so popular. Because if you look at this post, there's like 150 comments from other agents. And what he told everybody in July of last year is that he mailed this letter to 250 homes. And he put it in a nice envelope. And he put his calendar, and he put it in the Zillow reviews, and basically made it to where you wouldn't throw it away. And now he even says, hey, I don't even do the print label maker anymore. I have a nice $50 Sharpie glitter pen, and I write the address so that people won't throw it away. Because in this one instance, and now he does it multiple times a year, he spent $625 to get this to 250 homes. He sold 10 homes out of that one mailing for an average commission of $17,000. This is something that it's just, again, one of the tools that we create. And the trick to our system, we don't sell leads here. We sell tools that generate leads. If you have agents that use our tools, they tend to generate leads, right? There's also a whole side of our platform that we call landing pages. And landing pages, you've probably seen. They're probably one of the most popular reasons why people sign up on our website every day is to get one of these, right? What is your home worth? And when somebody puts in their address and then they put in their email address on the second page, we're going to give them their home value, but the agent's going to get the home address and the email address of that person. So those are the kinds of tools. We have a lot of other landing pages. We have landing pages for empty nesters, for growing families, you can do custom ones if you're doing a first-time home buyer shop. There's a lot of landing pages are I think, a smart way to go, because they only do one thing. You want information, you got to give us your information. A lot of agents will take this and embed it on their website, right? And then maybe somehow try to drive traffic to their website. And that's a cool thing to do. It's probably not the most efficient thing to do because there are so many pages on an agent's website. This page only has one function. You want your home value, put your address there, right? So I don't know. I could go further and show you more, but I think you kind of maybe get a sense of the kinds of things we're doing. What do you think?
Yeah, that makes sense to me. I think I'm more curious about how Jim or your other loan officers are using it to support their realtors and how they're rolling it out in their business, and how are the loan officers making it successful, because that's really what matters to us as a company.
That's a good question. Jim, you're not you're an agent, right?
No, I'm a loan officer.
Oh,
A branch manager, yes.
Ah, okay. Well,
but I have several people signed up under my profile or whatever that we're partnered up with. So I can I'll do my best to answer to Neil's without getting into the technical side of what listing to leads does, because I would feel like I'm in preschool when it comes to talking about what listing to leads can do.
Yeah.
But from a marketing aspect, it's very difficult, in my opinion, to walk into a real estate office and actually sit down and say, I have a tool for you that will generate leads for you, that will help you generate leads. Do you need help in generating leads? there's not a real estate agent out there that's going to say, sorry, I have so many leads, I just don't want anymore. Again, I mean, because we've implemented Home Scout within our business, and Home Scout is a great tool, but I actually think Home Scout and Listening to Leads team together as a marketing campaign for the real estate agents would be fantastic, because this is going to get the leads. If you have an automatic drip system to say, hey, by the way, I know you like this house. How about registering for this? It's private and it's personal. And you can look at all the homes around there. You can shop like a real estate professional. I think all of a sudden now we're really giving an enormous amount of value to the agent and their clients and their prospective leads. And I think that's where the value comes in, because, again, it's very difficult to separate yourself from your competition and just closing loans and being proactive with communication, because so many people do that effectively today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So basically, you're walking into the realtor's offices, Jim, and saying, we have this great tool that's going to help you generate leads. Let us teach you how to use it. And then do you feel like you guys are using it and teaching them? Like, is it a regular class that you're doing with them so that you continue to stay in front of them? Sounds like there's a lot of different aspects for them to learn. So are you making yourself the expert in that teaching? Is that the idea?
I would say right now that I think that would be the direction that we need to head and that I would prefer to go. But at this point, a lot of this stuff that we give the clients, once they get in there, they know more about how to use this platform than we do.
Okay.
If that makes any sense. Now, I'm not saying every agent's going to be that way, but a lot of the agents are already trying to do some Facebook advertising and some other stuff. This just gives them a tool that's more effective. So they usually can while around it fairly well themselves, but I would say that it would be in our best interest, in my opinion, to form a group within Wallick and Volk that on Wednesdays at 10:30 for 1 hour, we're going to have advanced listening to leads training. And whoever wants to registers, comes in the conference call, and we just go through the stuff, which would mean we're going to need to get somebody that understands listening to leads on an advanced level.
Well, I would definitely make myself available to support that and to be on those calls. Perhaps not every week, but I would certainly be willing to do that monthly, because
Okay.
I can tell you we have lenders all over the country using this. And Jim, your experience, it seems like you're a little bit new to this.
Yeah.
So let me give you a little more color, because you're right where you're starting to turn the corner. I'm talking to we have a lot of folks and a lot of lenders in Florida, a lot up the Eastern Coast, and they really become, in some ways, a bit of a tech guru. And there's kind of two things that I think all realtors lack. One is real marketing automation and lead gen. And the other, sadly, is a CRM to follow up with. And a lot of people do, but a lot of people don't. And if you if you go in and present this and say, hey guys, I found this great platform and they have a bunch of tools and it's really effective in generating leads. Here's an ID and password. If you say that to 10 agents, 3 might actually log in. 5 will forget the ID and password that you gave them. And 1 or 2 will actually get stick in here and start really getting value out of it and thinking, whoa, you've given me something awesome. So a lot of lenders get involved and say, hey, let me show you how some of these things work. What I just showed you, a handful of tools, would be the handful of tools that I would recommend that you get in those agents' hands and help them understand how to get them. Because there are probably 50 tools in listings to leads, and that's one of the reasons why it's a bit cumbersome. We have that many tools because there's so many things that an agent does that we feel like we want to create value. We want to make sure they have something for everything they do, right? But it does become, kind of a question of what does the agent understand? What do they not know? Do they want to run Facebook ads? And so you sort of have to know a lot. But obviously, there's a ton of value when you're kind of an expert in that area. So I know some folks that say, you know what, I'm kind of focused on Lion Desk as a CRM because I talk to a lot of agents and I show them this and they love it, and then they start generating hundreds of leads and they don't have a CRM. He's like, so I'm almost like I'm giving them listings to leads, I'm telling them what kind of CRM to do, and we're putting it together, and then everything starts working for them. So it's a little bit, it gets a little bit.
Is that what you guys are using for a CRM? Because I think I remember Jimmy talking about Lion Desk too.
We signed up for Lion Desk originally, but then there was some sort of issue in getting things to talk together, interface, because we're the lender. And I don't know, and this is secondhand information from the person that I hired to consult with me on this. But right now we're on Wise Agent.
Yeah. And
so Vince, your platform is more of the marketing materials, and then we would be relying on the agent or the loan officer to put together some sort of co-branded CRM to follow up with these leads?
Yes. In our world, like, this is another tool that showcases an agent's reviews on Zillow, right? And it's got lead capture over here, lead capture over here. All of their listings are here. If it was a lender tool, it would have the lender's information co-branded here. But we're all about creating tools automatically that capture leads. Some of them will post out on the internet for you automatically. Some you got to copy and paste, right? You copy this link. So yeah, if Wise Agent works for you, I know Brandon Wise, we integrate seamlessly with Wise Agent. So if that's the CRM that's working for you, I would recommend it. It's a great value for agents as well.
And so Jim, when you guys are using the CRM and you guys are saying that you're integrated, so these leads are coming over through Facebook? Are they coming through listing to leads and then into Wise Agent or Lion Desk? How are the leads coming with the integration?
Well, where we sit today, because my consultant has not completed what we're looking to do, right now we have to manually take the leads and get them into Wise Agent, which obviously is not the highest and best use of anyone's time, because when I say that you are going to generate leads, it's nothing to see 50 or 60 leads come in a couple of hours over a listing. Well, obviously.
Which of the tools in listings to leads are producing all those leads? Is it one in particular, or?
No, it's basically like the first one that he first showed.
This one.
This
is called the listing landing page. It's the tool that we automatically email to any agent as soon as the listing hits. And it's really effective at capturing leads. And so they'll put this on their social media. They will send it out.
Are they, you mentioned boosting it. Are they creating ads on Facebook with it?
Many people are.
Or are they boosting it? Are they just posting it?
Many people are, well, it's kind of, some people will create an ad and other people boost it. It's just, especially if they're doing our auto posting, they'll just go right ahead and boost it, right? And so let me show you another listing landing page, because the one I'm showing you, I was kind of messing with the lead capture field. This is what it typically looks like by default. There's a blue button there that says continue with Facebook. When you click that blue button, we at Listings to Leads reach into Facebook and get the name and email address from that person and deliver it to the agent. This thing here generates a lot of leads. Now, as I mentioned earlier, we can auto post this to your social media. There's the Twitter and LinkedIn. It can also go to your Facebook. And if it goes to Facebook, you can just boost it, because the way we've written it, it's got the emojis, it's got the hashtags, and it's got our landing page behind it. So it's just designed to the auto posting that we create, which looks like this, is designed to capture leads right off the bat. So a lot of agents are starting to go, I'm not going to go through all the work of running an ad. I'm just going to boost it. And I know, you know, everybody that lives within 20 miles of this town or these 5 towns, I want them to see that.
I'd be curious to see, Jim, what agents are doing it the most successfully. with you and creating the most amount of leads, and then kind of what their best practices are and how they're using it to generate the leads, because that's going to be really important, how you use the tools and generate the leads. One thing to give them the tools, but how they're using them is really the most important thing.
Well, and I would say it varies, because what Vince was talking about, we have probably a third of our agents that basically do nothing with it.
Yeah.
And obviously, I believe they would do more if I went in and basically did it for them. But we have probably 3 or 4 teams that are doing very well. In fact, just met with one of the top agents in Prescott yesterday. Went over the highlights of listing to leads, and we're getting her signed up today to start being active with this.
Jim, are you Jim, are you in our mastermind group?
Yes, on Facebook. Yep.
So I really recommend that you find this article that I'm pointing at right here, and I'm going to read it to you guys, or just highlights, so that you understand. Because what your question is there, Tennille, gets answered every week in our mastermind group. This lady here, Kathleen, I know started with us at the end of February, and on April 8th, she comes over here and says, "I just want to share my results for my newest listing in my own neighborhood and farm. I did a 3-day coming soon ad campaign, then switched it to an active campaign, pushed the post to my seller, and we both posted on neighborhood community pages and personal pages." So they took this tool, posted it as coming soon for a few days, posted it as just listed, then they shared it on the free groups in Facebook. And then, let's see, I'm lost. She said, "I paid for an ad for $30 for active and $21 for coming soon. I have a text to sell writer, and I sent out the neighborhood letter to the nearest 250 homes." So that letter I was pointing out earlier, that I said it's not the sexiest thing, and it really works. So she took that letter and gave it to 250 homes. And she said total marketing 77 days, 82 leads, 10 texts to sell, 60 people attended my open house. A neighbor came by and said how impressed they were, and that she's ahead of 99% of all other realtors in the area. And then another agent said, "How does she get so many people in this open house?" So there's a great, this year I would recommend that you see this, and I'll send this to you, Tennille, and you can kind of look at that and go, because she has basically told all of our clients step by step what she did with our tools, and she used.
Yeah, it seems like this is your best practices. You guys don't necessarily have one written out. It's just kind of your mastermind page. That makes sense.
That's right. That's right. We don't typically. I mean, we write some things down. We have a blog, and if we write things down, which we do, it doesn't mean an agent's ever going to read it, right? If you go to my home site, our homepage, and you scroll down, you're going to see the best out of that mastermind group. The best highlights of what agents are saying is right here. We write it down all the time.
So to kind of simplify your tool, it's basically a marketing system built around realtors' listings.
Yeah.
And all the necessary steps to advertise it and market the listing and then get leads from that. Is that fair?
That's one half of it. The other side is the landing pages that sort of stand on their own for like home values, things like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you guys have marketing materials built to advertise the landing page about what's your home worth? Like I see a lot of those postcards that say, find out what your home's worth by entering code, blah, blah, blah. Come to my neighborhood. I know. Is that something?
That's really, we don't right now have a postcard on it, but that's what this is. Again, the print flyer for nearby homeowners says, we're selling something just listed, is open house or just sold, and get your home value, because that's going to affect your home value.
Got it. Okay. So similar, just not a postcard, but
that's
the same idea?
Yep. That's exactly right.
Okay. And then, so I guess the next question is the cost, and then how you offer it to realtors and remain RESPA compliant.
Yeah, the RESPA question, I actually don't know. because I just don't know all the rules about RESPA, right? It's just how it is. But I do know lenders use it, and sometimes we have to fill out a form for them so that they know it's compliant and it works. But there's all I've heard things like an agent, it has to be co-branded, or it looks like the lender is giving something of value to an agent, and it doesn't have any value for the lender, so that's a problem. So that's kind of where the co-branding sort of helps there. But I can tell you, I don't know everything about RESPA. The other thing is, in terms of, what it costs an agent is $40 a month if they wanted to use this. For a lender, it starts at $200 a month, but they can have 100 agents in the account. Normally, they don't have 100 agents. They've got, a dozen or two that they're working with and really trying to nurture and develop a relationship with. But that's,
Okay, so just say, Jim, you pay $200 a month, and then when you offer to the realtors, you charge them $40?
I don't charge them anything.
Most people, lenders, I've never heard of lenders charging anything to an agent. When you sign up on our website, I'm just giving you sort of pricing so you understand. If an agent walks to our website like they do every day, and they sign up, it starts at $40 a month. When a lender signs up, it's $200 a month, but then they can just add agents, and the agent does not pay for it.
Right. My mind's just going back to the RESPA issue. I can't believe, do you guys have like a legal team or department that you don't get this question? I mean, obviously you're giving the realtors a value for free, so I'm not.
I do get the question, and unfortunately, it's always such the vague answer that I'm giving you now. We build the software that captures leads, and if somebody tells us, hey, for us to work with you and be compliant, could you change something or do something, then we will, right? But I don't know all the rules for RESPA, and I don't know why or how lenders apply or work with this.
Okay. Tammy, do you have any thoughts on that?
I think we need to look into it and see why we're not charging, why we're, offering a value at no cost to the realtor.
Yeah. I'll talk to a couple of my clients too and ask them, how do they work with that?
Because that is a big RESPA violation. If we're just giving this to the real estate agent, they're doing leads, they're making money off of those leads and not incurring a cost with the loan officer.
Yes.
But what if you're not limiting who can use it? Because if someone comes up to me and says, Jim, I heard you got this great tool, can I get this tool? I'm like, yes. So I'm not restricting who can use it.
It still doesn't matter. We're giving a thing of value to somebody, and they're benefiting from it.
Okay, so if I go and supply lunch at an MLS meeting, I'm giving some of value there, correct?
Yes, and that's a RESPA violation too, unless you're doing an educational thing. If it's based on education, that lunch and learn or whatever, and you're providing the lunch, then you're okay because you are doing education towards something.
Nope, not doing education. I just sponsor breakfast for a meeting.
Then
anyone can attend.
It doesn't matter because RESPA says you cannot give a thing of value.
Let us think about it, Jim, and Vince, maybe if you could reach out to some of your lenders and find out, like how they overcome the RESPA issue. I'm sure there's a way to do it. It's just a matter of us determining what that is, and then we can go from there.
Yeah.
We shouldn't host a luncheon, or we shouldn't host a happy hour. We shouldn't do any of that kind of stuff unless it's educational or we have a pamphlet or a flyer present during that happy hour or whatever.
Sure.
I mean, if it's just a flyer on a table, we're okay.
I can tell you, Jim or Vince, whoever, the other third-party vendors that we work with, like Home Scouts or what's the other one? It's not coming to me right now. The listing one, was it? Well, anyways, what they do is they offer the tool to the realtors for free, because then it's nothing of value to them. That's the way that they get around it.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm sure we can figure it out. You do some research, and I'll do some research over here, and then once we overcome that, I think we can move forward.
Okay. Any other questions for right now? The other thing, I will say this is what the co-branding looks like. So here's the lender.
Okay.
And here's the agent, right? And it basically says, mortgage company. And I've been told that this gets you around RESPA because it's not only value for the agent, there's value for the lender.
Yeah, so just to give you an example, which would be similar apples to apples for this. So if we create a flyer internally for, an open house or something, and it has the real estate agent and the loan officer both on that, they would, if they printed it, they would be both 50-50 on the cost of that, right? Because they have to give equally.
Yeah.
So in this case, it would make sense that the realtor and the loan officer were paying for this 50-50.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe, I don't know, perhaps you said, hey, I can give you access, but it's 20, or it's even a smaller number because you're so discounted for an agent at a lender level. You can say, hey, it's $5.
Right, if Jim has 200, if he's paying $200 a month and he's got 50 agents signed up, then it's, 50 divided by 200 or whatever.
Yeah.
And that would be their cost.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Okay, so, well,
we're just going to have to think about that and talk about it a little bit more internally, and if you could do some research on your end, that'd be super helpful too.
I will.
Okay.
Any other questions that I
Other than that, I think you answered everything. It looks good to me.
Okie doke. Well, thanks for making the time. Tennille, I'll get this video up and I'll send it off to you.
Okay, sounds good. We'll be in touch soon.
Okay.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Okie doke. Bye-bye.
Bye.